I keep working on the same sketch, and I have constraints here. Basically, I have my length constraints of these fillets, but what I need to do right now is I need to create some parameters so I can associate these parameters with this length constraints in order to, once I instantiate this geometry, for example, if I instantiate this sketch all the way up, and it's going to be adjusting to the geometry. Afterwards, if I want to change, say, the size of this fillet on this edge, I'll just have to change the parameter, and it's going to update all of the geometry. If I were to do it with my constraints, I would have to go in each sketch that is instantiated and change the value of this constraint. So parameters are very useful. So the way I'm going to do it, I go to formula, and I need to create 3 parameters, one per each of these fillets. So I choose the parameter of type. I need length. I hit single value is fine. I hit new parameter of type, and I call it fillet 1, and I give it a value of 50 inches. Hit apply. One more time, new parameter of type, fillet 2, give it the value of 40 inches, hit apply, do it again, new parameter of type, fillet 3, and I give you a value of 30 inches, hit apply. So now I have them all created here, fillet 1, 2, 3, and the rest of this is actually parameters too, but they were created throughout this session by software. So the parameters that are actually defined by user appear here under the parameters node. So I hit OK. Now I'm gonna associate it with the parameters with my values of these constraints. So I double click, I select value, and hit right click, edit formula, and you can look for them here. These fillet parameters, they all have to be here, but you can just select them from the tree. That's what I'm gonna do. Fillet 1, hit OK. Now, as you can see, you cannot even select this value anymore because it shows that it's the parameter has been assigned to it. And once the parameters are just created and not assigned to any value or geometry, they're just kind of hanging here. But once you associate it to something in your model, it creates, under the relations node, it creates a formula. So that means that this parameter is associated, and it already affects something. So I hit OK, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the rest of them. Double click, right click, edit formula, select fillet 2. OK, double click, right click, edit formula, select fillet 3, OK. So now I have these fillets are being of value 50, 40, and 30 inches. So now I have to further constrain the sketch because so once I instantiate it, it behaves the way I want it to be, and what I want it to do, I need all of these fillets looking inside. So I'm gonna create I'm going to create some construction geometry here, and in order to do this you have to hit the construction button and go to the construction mode. So now I'm going to create kind of the same triangle that I did in the very beginning of this sketch. Here it is, and as you can see it's a dashed line. That means that this geometry is of the construction type, so it's not going to be showing after we leave the sketch. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to kind of constrain the ends of this triangle to my intersection points. Okay. I select both by holding Control, and I'm gonna hit coincidence. I select all of these points again, go to the constraints, hit coincidence. I'll do the same with the last one. Hit OK. So now I have my construction geometry, some of it. Now I'm gonna create a line and constrain one of the ends of it to the mid point of this side of the triangle. I go to midpoint, and the other end of this line I'm gonna constrain it to my intersection points. So I control select them and coincide them, and I'm gonna do the same with the rest of them. Midpoint, and the other end to the opposite intersection point. I just coincide it, hit OK. The last line, midpoint, OK. Coincidence. Okay, so now I created this constrained geometry, and what I'm gonna do, I want my fillets to be perpendicular to these lines that I created. So they're all constrained to the midpoint of these fillets, and I want them to be perpendicular. So once instantiated, it just keeps this geometry shape and the shape instead of going crazy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select my fillet. I'm gonna select this line, and I'm gonna create a perpendicular constraint. So now, as you can see, it's perpendicular to this line. I'm gonna do the same with the rest of them. Okay. Okay. So now, as you can see, the whole sketch is constrained, fully constrained, because it's all green.